Your Amazon agency is scamming you. I guarantee it. Today we're going to talk about the great Amazon agency scam in today's video. Just got off the phone with a business owner who was absolutely pissed off because he knows his Amazon agency was scamming him. He just didn't know how and why. And we immediately started talking about exactly why that is the case. Now, let me just tell you exactly how this works here. So he's selling a product in the beauty and wellness space. It's an area that we have a huge specialty in. If you want to check us out, check out tier11beauty.com, of course. And obviously, for anything that you don't understand in today's video with regard to marketing performance indicators, any of the calculations and things that we're going to be discussing today, head on over to tier11.com/MPI and download our cheat sheet on marketing performance indicators. So the first thing that he's told us is that his AOV is $27, average order value. Wasn't really sure exactly whether or not this was NAOV or this was just regular AOV, but let's just say for the sake of argument, it's NAOV. NAOV is new average order value. So when somebody comes in the first time they purchase, new client, you can actually look inside your Shopify store, a new customer, what do they purchase, figure out what that is over time, just sort by all new customers' first purchase, and then you'll be able to determine very quickly what your average order value is. So if you need help with that, you can certainly go to an app like By the Numbers, or you can obviously hire us over at Tier 11. His CAC, which is customer acquisition cost, it's about $12. So this is actually pretty good for a business. That's a very low CAC. Now, that is a blended CAC. One of the things that he didn't know is whether or not this is new and returning customers. Chances are, because it's so low, this is what I would refer to as a CAC, all CAC. That means that is new plus returning. For AOV, we weren't quite as certain, so we're gonna just assume that AOV is NAOV, but it's also RAOV, which is returning average order value. Chances are, because this is so low, he's probably buying repeat customers for his ad spend. We'll find out when we do his full-on audit, where we go through all these business metrics and really decipher exactly what's going on inside the ad account. What we're trying to determine is whether or not the numbers made sense, and sort of sorting through some of his numbers just on a 30-minute call before we actually dug deeper into his business. Can we actually help him? So what we found through that discovery is he's got about a $4 million business, total revenue, about $4 million. And through that, it's divided up in two ways: Shopify store, and then Amazon. Like many e-commerce stores, like many beauty and wellness brands, you have some kind of mix of those. Now, we have clients that 90% of their sales come through Amazon. Amazon is about 3 million in revenue, whereas on Shopify, he's doing about 1, maybe 1.2, let's say, just for the sake of argument, 1 million. Now, the beauty of this product is that it actually is a continuity product. It's a product that is a disposable. It's, like I said, it's in the beauty and wellness space. You use it, 30-day supply. You need more, you get more. Obviously, there's a subscription that's offered on Shopify, which is great. He is not offering a subscription on Amazon, which is actually key. All right, so here's where the scam part of it comes in. He is running ads on Meta at about, Meta spend per month is about $20,000. Just all top of funnel, video ads, image ads, really brand heavy, brand awareness types of ads. He's like, they're not really working for me all that well. I look into the ad manager and I don't really see any return on ad spend. Somewhat typical, which is fine. But the key is that over on the Amazon side, he's spending about $100K per month. All right, so you've got Meta spending $20K per month. You've got Amazon and the Amazon agency saying, hey, look at us. We're spending $100K per month. We're spending 1.2 million a year, but we're getting you 3 million in revenue. That's practically So says the agency. That's about a 2.7 ROAS. We're doing great for you. Maybe 3, maybe they pump it up to 3. Notice how I've got all the chalk in green there. This is great. The agency is saying, we're actually crushing it for you. Well, when you really look at what's behind the scenes, in most cases, when we see clients like this, what's usually happening is that no one is going to Amazon searching for your specific product. You're generating awareness somewhere else, and that somewhere else is probably over here on Meta. Nobody wakes up in the morning, unless you are Nike, or unless you are Ford Motor Company, unless you're Disney. People don't wake up in the morning and say, yeah, I want to buy some Nikes. Well, as my friend and colleague John Moran says, oftentimes nobody wakes up in the morning and says, well, I'm gonna go buy some Fikes. Nobody knows what Fike is, unless you actually create a meta campaign about how great your Fike sneaker might be. Sure, this is a ridiculous example, but the point is like nobody wakes up in the morning looking on Amazon for your brand. So the great agency scam is that this agency is spending all of this money on brand. All they are doing is creating, this guy has an internal team that's spending $20,000, $30,000 a month on Meta. Doesn't look like any sales are coming in inside the ads platform. However, all of those ads, all they're doing is they're creating a tremendous amount of awareness. Maybe they might buy over, on your site as well, but what they're going to do is they're going to see your ad on Meta, and then they're going to go over to Amazon, see if they can get it cheaper. This is what people do. So they will see your ad, they might not click on it, they'll view it. That's called a view through conversion or a VTC. We get tons of those on Meta. And then the last click conversion actually comes from Amazon. The other part to this is if he was spending any money on Google branded search for his brand name, he would probably see his Google ads having this kind of incredible ROAS, and probably even greater than that, probably even 5, 6, 7. He's not spending any money on Google as of right now. All he's spending is Amazon with an agency spending a pretty hefty fee, which is actually included in on that 1.2 million. So that's marketing efficiency ratio, not necessarily media efficiency ratio. If you sort of look at that as a 1.2 into a 3, it's not quite a 3 ROAS, not quite a 3 MER, but it's pretty close. Point is he's spending a whole lot of money on a platform that's getting all of its demand from another platform. The second part of the agency Amazon scam is this. So when he viewed his website over on his Shopify store, we noticed that the price of his flagship product was $19.99 for a single purchase. And then if you enroll and subscribe and save, which is a recharge app over on Shopify, if you actually subscribe, you get a certain percentage off, which is $15.99. Go. So one-time purchase, you got $19.99. Subscribe and save, you got $15.99. So even though his NAOV is $27, we didn't go too far down the funnel. My guess is because of this brand offer right here, he probably has an order bump or maybe a one-click upsell on the order page is my guess. Very easy way to increase your average order value is obviously on the cart page is to do a one-click upsell or really an order bump. It's like, hey, get this, in this particular case, relate it to a product that's maybe slightly less expensive. In this case, I'm sure he offers something that's probably in the $9 range thereabouts because his NAOV is, like I said before, as we stated in our earlier section, is $27. People are buying more than just one in the beauty and wellness space here. Now, here's where the real scam comes into play. So over on Amazon, the same product sells for $12.99. So if you're a shopper, let me ask you this, and you see an ad in your newsfeed for a particular beauty and wellness brand that you're like, wow, that thing's really cool. I've never seen that, but wait a second, that's different than everything else that I've ever seen. I've always wanted that thing. Like, wow, that's really cool. See the ad, what's the first thing that you do? You would go immediately over to Google, right? I see it here on my Facebook ad, okay? There's my Facebook ad. right here. Next thing I do, I go right over to Google. How much can I get it for? Well, when I go to Google, I'm gonna see, obviously I'm gonna Google the brand, all right? They're not running Google ads, remember. So what will happen is that you'll actually see your organic listing. So they go to your Shopify store and they see it is $19.99, all right? I saw it advertised on Meta or on Instagram. I saw it on Instagram Reel. It was $19.99. Maybe they said the price. Next thing we do is we all have Prime memberships, right? Is you then go over to Amazon and you say, wow, I can get that same product and I can get it with free shipping in 2 days or maybe a day if you're near a distribution center I can get it for nearly 40% less than I can on the website itself. So what are you gonna do? As a consumer, you're gonna buy it here, all right? So this is the second part to this. Now, the great agency scam is that the agency is taking credit for this sale. They're saying, look at us. Look at how much money we're making you. We're spending $100,000 a month on brand ads, and we're getting a 3x on your ad spend. When in fact, what they really should be doing is they should be looking at two different things. They should be looking at their Facebook ads, how they're driving that brand to Google, as well as, however, what's really killing them is that people are incentivized to go on Amazon because of the price. So the first thing that we would do is advise them on price here. And we would actually make the Amazon price on price parity, which is called map pricing, price parity with the Shopify store and price it at $19.99. So that would be the most basic thing to do, at least price it the same as the Shopify store. So first things first, you're now making $7 more on every individual purchase. Remember, Amazon is going to take anywhere between 15 and 20% of the sales price. So the more of a premium and the more individual, more unique your product is, you can charge a higher price. This agency is just stealing money from these guys. And it's unfortunate that this is the case. I see this far too often. You know, we do analyses of businesses. And the biggest thing that you can do, first off, is not necessarily listen to the agency, but secondly, look at your pricing. There is map pricing for Amazon, so you can't undercut technically on your advertised price on your store. You'll see this with all our clients. What we do is we recommend them price parity for our advertised price. So let's say we're doing a Google shopping campaign. We'll price parity, meaning for selling it on Amazon for $19.99, we'll make our Google shopping ads $19.99 as well. However, we'll incentivize them to get on the continuity program for a lower price. That way you have a lifetime value that's longer. Also, I highly recommend doing one-click upsells, which we will, once you use, after the initial purchase. Seems like these guys are doing that, but at the very least, look at your pricing versus Amazon. And remember the fact that when somebody sees an ad on Meta, they're not gonna buy necessarily on Meta. They're going to maybe buy on Meta if you're giving them a great offer, but they're gonna go to your website, they're gonna Google your name, and they're also gonna check out whether or not you list on Amazon, because Amazon Prime is so important and so vital and it's so powerful. And that's the reason why Amazon controls 42% of all the sales online, because they figured this stuff out. But don't shoot yourself in the foot and don't take crap from your agency, taking credit for what really is the job of another platform. And this is the Amazon agency scam that we see all the time. Armed with this video, hopefully you can make some changes within your business. Of course, if you need our help, we're over at tier11beauty.com, or just look us up over at tier11.com, and we'll be happy to help out there as much as we possibly can. So if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, share. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel here so you don't miss out on any videos like this that are coming on down the line to help you scale and grow using metrics that matter and growth that scales.